What's going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, we're back from mining Disrupt, and I wanted to give you guys an update as to where we stand with crypto mining shed number 2. So let's go ahead and take a look. Today's video is sponsored by the team over at coinminingcentral.com. With crypto mining hardware prices falling, right now is the best time to snag that ASIC miner you always wanted. I've been working with the team at Coin Mining Central for over a year now and will continue to put my trust in their brand for ASIC purchases. Coin Mining Central always has stock in my favorite Bitcoin, Scrypt, Kadena, and 𝐀𝐒𝐈𝐂 ASIC miners for super reasonable and competitive prices. Finally, if you do have one of these rare situations where hardware is problematic, all ASICs come with the manufacturer warranty to ease your concerns. Looking for a well-established, trusted, and safe way to purchase an ASIC? Look no further than Coin Mining Central. Go check out Coin Mining Central today via the link in the video description down below, as well as save $120 at checkout with the discount code 𝐻𝐵HOBBYISTMINER. All right, let's take a look at the shed, give you guys a quick update. If you guys aren't familiar, we're building our second crypto mining shed. This is not at my house. This is actually at my electrician's house right now. Kind of cool. He's got like a little hen house here and a bunch of birds, roosters, chickens, all that fun stuff. But crypto mining shed number 2, if you guys have not been keeping up to date with it, it is a 12, whoa, that sun is brutal. We'll go over here. This is a 12 by 12 shed. It's about 10 to 15 years old. It's not brand spanking new, but we've been renovating it over the last few weeks. This is actually the 5th video on this, so go check out all the links down below on the full series. So what do we do before we left for mining Disrupt? So let's take a look right over here on the left-hand side and take a look. So we went ahead and got all of our walls painted. You guys can see here, I actually went to Lowe's and had it paint matched with the siding that you guys can see there. So that is paint matched and fully finished and good to go. We did it on both sides there. I'll show you the exhaust in just a second. And we got all of our intake vents in. They came out really, really awesome. Let me see if I can pull one off here. Let's see, I pulled this one off here earlier. Take a look. So these are gable vents, you guys can see down below. They just go ahead and pop off. So we'll go ahead and put a MERV filter in here. I'm still deciding if I want to go with a MERV 3 or with a MERV 6. The MERV 6 definitely gives a much better, it has a lot more airflow restriction, but the filtering is significantly better. So we're gonna have to go ahead and test everything out, and we'll see exactly how we do with the airflow restriction with this shed design versus my airflow shed design back at my house. So in addition to that, we got, you can see, lots of silicone on here. I went to town, loads and loads of silicone, because one of the things I learned on my last shed was once you install these, water finds its way in all different ways. So I went and put silicone all over all the screws just to make sure that we don't have any water coming inside the shed. But the intake side is pretty much done. One thing we do want to do is we do want to monitor how water plays out here. So in my shed, I put a gutter on this side, because what happens is, you guys can see, you see the roof line here? The water comes down and then drops right in front of the intake vent. And because we're working with negative pressure, pulling the air in from this passive side, I did run into some issues on my shed. We're going to monitor it, but most likely we're going to put a gutter in before we start mining at all. Let's go around the other side here. I'll show you on the exhaust side of our shed. Look at these guys just hanging out. So the exhaust side of the shed will be coming up this week. My plan is to get the exhaust completely finished. So we're gonna have 4 T14. So huge shout out to the team over at AC Infinity. We're gonna have 4 fans evenly spaced across here. We're going to do it right below the seam that we put into place, and we're going to do 4 fans entirely across here. Each one of those fans gives 1500 CFM, so we're going to have a total of 6000 CFM in this shed. If we're running at max, most likely we won't. I'm not even running it in my shed over at my property there. Something we're looking at doing in the fall and winter is putting an 8-inch ductwork from this shed over into this hen house here to keep all these chickens and pheasants and all these guys nice and warm. So we're gonna put some type of flap and system in there. So that'll be fun. A lot of fun to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead inside the shed and I'll show you our progress. All right, let's step inside. We'll take a look at the intake first, then talk about everything else. So check out that intake wall. We ended up doing 14 total. I actually got 13 of these from a fellow crypto miner in Pennsylvania who followed my shed build at my house and went ahead and went with these gable vents. They didn't work out for him. He wanted a different style he decided to go with. So I actually drove out to him and did a trade and got my hands on 13 of these. So I only ended up having to buy one. Huge shout out to him from Ruskies Crypto Mining. I'll put a link to his channel down below. And I actually did a kind of shed tour while I was out there, so that video will be coming out next week. 14 total gable vents. So excited about it. Our intake wall is entirely done. This is ready to go and all set. So what do we have left here? I mean, we're getting there. Well, we did some electrical. Actually, we didn't. He did. The electrician. This is his property and his house. So I'll go ahead and run through it a little bit here. So our panel is going to go right here. It's a 150 amp panel. This week, it's supposed to be getting trenched, as well as the Ethernet from his house into the shed, and a panel put right here. That's why all of our cables are roughed in right here. We have 4. We're actually going to have a 5th one. I had to go ahead and buy some more 10-2, but that'll be easy enough. So we're going to go from the panel over here. We're going to have all of our meter boxes. So huge shout out to the meter box. They sponsored the meter boxes that we're putting in here, as well as Drox meters and L630R plugs. We do have PDUs that are going to all along this wall here from Altair Tech. Huge shout out to them. They're really sick. I think they're like $100 PDUs. And they're perfect. They're like these mini PDUs. We're going to do a total of 5 of them along the wall here. That'll work out really, really well. So from the meter boxes to the PDUs, and then everything's going to go up C13, C14, or if it's a C19, C20 cable up, and we kind of put these little cable kind of clamps up here as for cable management. So everything's going to run up. We're going to have long cables and then drop down into the rack, which will be really nice. Some 14.2 was run along here and up over and here, because we're going to have these shutter fans. Shutter fans are going to come in right below the seam here. So it's going to be right about here is where we're going to have the shutter fans, 4 of them all the way across. So we got 2 plugs up here because we have 2 fans, and then 2 plugs right up there for our 2 fans. Cables run over and run over to a little junction box over here, because if you follow this up and over, you got a spool. Well, we're going to have a junction box right in the middle, and we actually got 4 LED shop lights. These things are going to be awesome. Plenty of light with these guys. We're going to put them up top here, so 4 lights for at night. Light switch right over here. There is a cable that runs outside. He wanted to put an outlet in there. We're also going to put a camera and light on this side, as well as a camera and light on that side. Now we ran some additional cabling over and came down right here. We're going to put an outlet, and I'm actually going to put a workbench here, and we're going to put a computer right here. So when you come in the shed, it's a little bit away from the gable vent, from the shed right here, and a computer, monitor, everything will be ready to go so that we can access our rigs. So give you guys a rundown. Networking, Ethernet's going to come in. We have 2 Ethernet cables. One is a primary, one is a secondary. We're going to have a switch and router firewall somewhere around here. It's going to have its own subnet inside of the shed. And then the Ethernet cables will run from here up and go same this side, all Ethernet on this side and drop down. So Ethernet and power completely on different support beams. Ethernet on this one, power on that one, which will work out awesome. So what do we have left? So we need to get the electrical done. I'm going to do the exhaust this week. We're going to clean the shed. We're going to talk about painting the floor, and then to finish it off. And then we have a 6.5 foot by 6.5 foot rack coming for the middle. So we're going to have plenty of room on this side. It's not going to be like my shed. Lots of room on this side, and plenty of room on this side. About 2 feet, 2.5 feet on this side gap. And then it's going to be 2 feet deep right here. We're not going to layer this because we really don't need to. We don't have enough power to need that for having that many ASICs. So we're going to have 150 amps dedicated in the shed. Maybe next bull run we'll upgrade to a 400 amp. Who knows? But we'll have the rack right here in the middle with lots and lots of room. So lots of really good stuff to come. I'm super excited to show it to you guys. I'm going to be here this week and get the exhaust done. Those are the AC Infinity T14 fans. They're going to run right across here. We will have them set up on controllers. So it's actually going to be kind of cool. We're going to have controllers set up in the middle. We do one or two controllers, probably do one controller. And so we'll have two fans set at a constant speed. And then if it gets to a certain temperature in here, the other two will kick in. So the airflow will funnel towards the middle of the shed. It'll run all the time, exhausting everything. That's the nice thing about the controllers from AC Infinity. You have like 4 different stages. So we'll be able to set up the outside third one and the outside fourth one to exhaust a little bit differently. Shed's coming along really good. We're trying to reuse as much as we can. We're probably going to plywood this wall completely, especially because we filled everything, and this side still has the original vinyl. We talked about plywooding this wall too, and that wall there, so we're probably going to plywood these, truck going by, sorry, plywood these walls entirely. Other than that, I don't remember if I told you guys, the ridge vent, we went ahead and I took some, this is actually from my old shed, some of this old, it has the heat wrap on one side. This is from my shed. I cut up a bunch of those, and I'll put those up there to give a better seal, and then we filled it with the gaps and cracks up top to go ahead and fill up that ridge vent, because we don't want to be sucking in air from up top there, because that would take the airflow this way. We want this to act like a wind tunnel. Air comes in, negative pressure, goes through our rigs and out that way. We don't want any other directions. There was another vent up here right behind this panel. Went ahead and covered it and filled that in, and then did my best with a lot of this gaps and cracks stuff. Just went to town. This is awesome. I mean, it looks a little bit messy, but it works really, really well and expands. So my goal was to go to town on it and hope for the best, which is fantastic. Well, guys, that's it. Hopefully in the next video you guys see, we got the exhaust done, we got our wiring done, our electrical in place. I can't wait to show it to you guys. Once again, huge shout out to Rusty's Crypto Mining for working with me on these vents. Guys, I'll have a video of his crypto mining farm and shed coming out next week. Keep an eye out. If you enjoyed this video, give it one of these, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.